The Brave Life of Little Pea by Jade Maître. A peasant stood watching over his fields. The summer had passed and the peas had been harvested. It was time to plough the fields, to turn the dirt over and make dark, fertile beds of the soil so that the new peas would grow. "Sons," he said to his 2 sons, "go out and prepare the soil for sowing. And Anna," he said to his daughter, "bring them lunch at midday. They will be tired and hungry from their work." A passing snake heard these instructions and devised a devious plan. He would wait for the 3 sons to pass, digging a long trench behind them, and then he too would pass over the dark, soft soil. In this way, he would make his own trench, leading away from the field and into a deep cave, which he hoped might deceive Anna, the daughter, and entrap her there. All morning, Anna made her brothers a pot of soup. She went to look for them at midday, following the furrow they had ploughed, or so she thought. In fact, she saw the snake's furrow, and being fresher, believed it was that of her brothers. The snake's furrow led all the way into a dark cave, and he imprisoned her. At midday, Anna did not appear, and the brothers wondered where their sister was. An hour later, they decided to search for her, and saw the long trench leading all the way to the dark cave. They followed it in. There was a fierce battle. The snake captured them too. Their mother and father wept bitterly when they discovered that their children did not come home. Later in the season, when the first peas began to appear in the fields, the children's mother collected them in a large bucket herself. One of the peas rolled from the bucket and she ate it. Very shortly after, she gave birth to a new son, who she called Pea. Pea contained magic in him. He grew to a man in the space of an evening and was hungry and extremely strong. 3 days after he was born, he wanted a piece of iron and dug a well to find it. The walls of the earth whispered to him as he dug. They said the names of his brothers and sister. When he returned to the top, he asked his mother and father, "Who are Veniora, Vernidub, Crutivus, and Anna?" "They are your brothers and sister, who were stolen by an enormous snake." "I will find them," decided Pea. "Please do not," begged his parents. "We could not bear losing you too." "Do not worry about me," said Pea. Pea took the iron he had found to a blacksmith. The blacksmith forged a mace with it. Pea tested it for strength. The iron was weak in his hands. When he tossed it into the air, it broke on falling to the earth. When he swung it through the air, it bent. But Pea was impatient to recover his brothers and sister, so he went to battle the snake anyway. Pea arrived at the cave. It had a large stone in front of it and was all grown over with moss from the rains during the months that had passed. He rolled the stone aside and stormed into the cave. Blinking, his brothers and sister were dazzled by the sunlight as they saw Pea fly into the darkness. It looked to them as though he had brought the sun itself with him. Pea clashed with the snake in a fury. The serpent hissed and bit as Pea grappled the devious beast and struck it with his mace. The snake knew it could not best Pea. When Pea was about to make the final blow, it doubled around and sped from the cave, never to be seen again. Pea had freed his siblings, but he did not reveal that he was their brother. Instead, he loaded up all the snake's treasures in a cart. "Take this to your parents," Pea told Anna, "and we will arrive soon after with meat for a feast." The brothers and Pea set off together. Now it so happened that on the way home they found the snake's cabin, which was empty. As each of the brothers were very good hunters, they decided that each day one of the brothers would guard the house, while the other 3 would hunt deer to bring back to their parents. The first day was very successful, and they brought back much food. "We will continue hunting," they said, "so that we may bring much meat to our parents." And so Veniora was guarding the house and the food the next day when a very old man with a long beard knocked on the door. He demanded to be carried over the threshold, but Veniora refused. The old man, offended, hung him from a nail in the wall by his shirt, ate all the food, and disappeared. When Pea and the other brothers came back, they were astonished to find the food gone. "I fell asleep," said Veniora. He was ashamed that he had not treated the old man with more respect. Someone must have stolen the food. So Vernidub stayed the next day, and after that Crutivus. Each time the same little old man appeared, asking to be carried over the threshold, and each time the brother refused and was hung on a nail while the old man ate everything. When it was Pea's turn to guard the food, the old man appeared once more and asked to be carried over the threshold. Pea agreed, but once the old man was inside, he still tried to hang Pea on the wall and eat all the food. Furious at this treachery, Pea grabbed the old man's beard and pinched it in the trunk of a tree. The old man panicked, pulled up the oak tree and ran away, dragging the enormous trunk behind him. Pea and his brothers followed the trail left by the enormous tree and saw that it led to a deep, dark pit. It looked terrifying to enter. Its shadows were magenta, like pooled blood at dusk. We did not want to go down there, the brothers agreed. They decided to send Pea down into the pit. Pea was brave and agreed to do it, so they knitted a rope from nearby vines and lowered him into the darkness. Pea's feet touched the bottom. As his eyes adjusted to the gloom, he saw a twisted palace beneath the ground. Trapped in the black rose bushes that ringed it was the Princess Anishka. Her eyes grew terrified when she saw brave Pea. "Do not presume to fight the old man," she implored. "He is the brother of a snake, and he will kill you as easily as he would a mouse." Little had Pea or his brothers realized that the old man was, in fact, the snake's brother, equally as evil and cunning as he. At these words, the old man appeared from the shadows. Down in his evil domain, his fingernails had grown as long as spears, and his tongue spat acid. Pea and the old man battled, their blows making the earth shake above. Finally, Pea took him in both hands and twisted him into a coil, trapping him in the thorny branches of the black rose bushes. He took the treasures under one arm and the Princess Anishka under the other. "Excuse me," said the Princess Anishka, "but I can walk with my own 2 legs." "Sorry," said Pea. With all the thrill of the fight, he had forgotten for a moment that she might have an opinion on leaving. "Will you come to the surface with me?" he asked, quite humbly. The Princess Anishka agreed. Pea tied Princess Anishka to the rope so that his brothers could winch her out. They then dropped the rope to Pea another time. This time, Pea attached 3 bags of jewels stolen from the evil domain, and the brothers raised it up once more. But now, when the princess and the jewels were safely on top, the brothers became greedy. "Let us drop Pea when we pull him up," said the brothers, "and then we shall have these treasures and the princess to ourselves." The Princess Anishka heard these plans and dropped a stone down the hole as a warning. Pea understood. He tied the stone to the rope and shortly after heard it fall, leaden, to the bottom of the pit. The brothers left with their loot, but Pea remained alive at the bottom with no way to escape. That night, an almighty storm swept through the forest. Amidst the wild thunder and flashes, which illuminated even deep down into the deep, dark pit, Pea heard the sound of hungry babies. He looked around and found an abandoned nest of vulture chicks. Pea covered them with his body to protect them from the rain, and when the nestlings cried for hunger, he carved off a piece of his calf and gave it to the babies to eat. The next morning, when the clouds had cleared, the nestling's mother came back to the cave. "Who fed you? Who kept you dry?" she asked her children. The vulture chicks pointed to Pea. The mother was very grateful. She gave her nestlings magic water, which caused them to regurgitate the calf and the muscle to grow anew. She then granted Pea his wish and flew him to the surface once more. Pea returned to his home, where he found his brothers, sister, and parents waiting for him. "And this is the way you treat your brother?" Pea cried, "when he has saved you from the evil serpent, saved your meat, and found you treasure?" The brothers were ashamed of themselves, fell to their knees and asked Pea to forgive them. Because he was gracious, brave, and courageous, he did so. The Princess Anishka saw his dedication to family and also fell to one knee. "Will you marry me, Pea?" she asked. And he did. The end.
Storyberries. Storyberries.